welcome back to another review. Today we are going to be reviewing The Office, but not the Office that most of you probably are thinking of. No, not the one with Steve Carell, not the US version. I'm talking about the British one, aka the one that came first, which there would be no US one if it hadn't been for. So I am still going to watch the US one of these days. I don't know if it's going to be the next thing I watch or not, but I did watch this one, and there's apparently a movie that goes along with it that's probably going to be the actual next thing I review. So, yeah, mostly I admittedly watched it. I probably wouldn't have even been interested, but I watched it because it stars Ricky Gervais, who I love. But, honestly, I was kind of just curious, one, how similar or how different are these two shows, which since I haven't seen the US one yet, I can't make that comparison just yet. When I watch it, I can make that comparison, but at least now I have a point of reference to start from. And two, I'm just kind of curious, what is all the fuss about for this show on both sides? Because I know whenever Ricky's name comes up, this show always comes up. This seems to have been, as far as I can tell, one of the first big things he was in, and he's still very much known for. Unfortunately, in my brain, I mixed up that scene with David Bowie from Extras, thinking it was from this, so I sat through the whole series waiting for, so when does David Bowie pop up? And David Bowie never pops up. And then I googled it and was like, oh, I'm not even thinking of the right show. Okay. I still need to watch Extras, but anyway, we're not talking about Extras today, we're talking about The Office. So, basically, I am literally the worst person ever at summarizing plot lines of things, but basically, it's supposed to be filmed in a way that almost feels like it's a reality show about this boss, David Brent, and the office that he's in charge of running, and it's just very mundane office interpersonal connections and things with one another. It's kind of Seinfeld-esque in that way of, it's kind of a show about nothing if you think about it. It's just situational humor. It's very much British humor, which I do like, but in this particular one, I was like, outside of Ricky, most of these characters are fucking awful. Like, I didn't like any of the other characters besides Ricky's. I think maybe there was, like, one girl that I liked, but everyone else, I was like, all of them are terrible. But, the way that it was filmed, the style that this show is filmed, I feel like Ricky's show Derek was very much inspired by and filmed in a very similar fashion to, and the way that he'll, like, look down the barrel of the camera, I feel like maybe when he was doing Derek, it was kind of like a throwback to The Office, but since I hadn't seen The Office, I didn't get that at that point. Now I'm like, oh, there's actually quite a few things while I was watching this where I was like, hey, I recognize such and such thing from Derek, which I loved, and I still love. I should rewatch Derek one of these days because it's that cute, but this one, honestly, the character of David Brent is, I think, a lot more aligned with, like, Ricky's personality when he does his stand-up routines, where he's kind of full of himself. He has a little bit of a god complex. He kind of thinks he's, like, the best thing that has ever graced the earth. Even though literally everyone else around him is like, well, this is where it varies from real life Ricky to David Brent, but, everyone that is a colleague of David's is just like, no, he's a twat. Like, really, we hate him, actually, but he thinks that everyone loves him, and this is like a running thing through the whole thing, where basically nobody else's needs matter, only his. Everyone else's concerns, nah, that doesn't matter. It's fine. Like, don't look over there, look over here. But at the same time, look at what a musical genius I am. And this and that and the other. It's just like, oh my god. I mean, I thought his character was hilarious, even if he was a dick. But I mean, I can kind of say the same about his stand, where it's like, he's a dick, but you know what, he's hilarious and I love him anyway. But maybe that's why I like the character, even though technically I don't think he's really supposed to be likable, but I did anyway. Maybe that says more about me personally, I don't know. But regardless, the rest of the cast of crew, yeah, a lot of them ranged from just bland to horrible to annoying to everything in between. I really just, none of them resonated. A lot of them felt like they were just caricatures of the type of people you would think work in offices. They probably don't actually. On the other hand, the fact that none of them are likable probably makes this much more akin to what working in an office is actually like. You don't like the people you work with. You really hate all of them. But you come to work every day because you want that paycheck, so you tolerate their asses even though secretly you hate all of them. I think that may have been an intentional move, and if that was, in fact, the intention there, good on you, Ricky. But, if not, then, you know, I'm reading too much into it. I'm not sure which of the two it is, but, basically, this company is struggling financially, like Derek and the nursing home, and, basically, some redundancies need to be made, and he comes up with, like, every excuse under the sun for why he's not firing anybody, and why everything's fine, and how he can totally guarantee nobody's getting fired here. He ends up firing, like, his personal assistant just to prove, oh, I could totally fire someone. And I think that's, like, the only person he actually fires. Maybe, like, one other person. Until eventually the other shoe drops, and his advisor fires him. Because, honestly, he did a terrible job as a boss. And then it fast forwards, like, 3 years later to see how exactly everyone's getting on. Frankly, most of them not too terribly well. I mean, they're doing okay. Like, they're managing. They're not, like, destitute or anything like that. They're fine. They have their jobs, but are their lives anything great to write home about? No. Which, frankly, does align more with, like, the real-life experience. Like, in reality, generally, most people's experiences are fairly unnoteworthy. There's nothing to write home about. I mean, yeah, they're kind of just existing. They do what they do to get by. Nothing special about it. It is what it is. I feel like Ricky's very good at conveying that sort of honesty in the screenplays that he writes, actually. Even if, in this particular one, most of those characters were very unlikable, I feel like there is very much a life experience honesty in this. And for that, it's an odd conflict of feelings, because A, I love his character, but like no one else on it. But B, at the same time, I have the utmost respect for the writing that went into this show. Like, obviously, it has its moments where it's funny. None of them are, like, fall on the floor hysterical. Again, besides Ricky's, he was really, like, the stand-apart, like, role of this show, and I'm not being biased, it just is what it is. I've seen lots of movies where I can say the same thing, where it's just like, this one person was fantastic, and it, literally the entire rest of the crew sucked. It's like they didn't know how to act, except this one glowing beacon of hope in the world in this film. It's kind of like that. We can tell which one he is and what everyone else is apart, but regardless, I did enjoy it, and like I said, I am going to be watching David Brent Life on the Road next, so, I mean, if there were more of it, I'd totally watch that too. I know that the US version got a lot more episodes than this one did, because this one, I think it was like 6 episodes a season, and there was like 2 seasons, and then a 2-episode Christmas special, and that was it. I was like, oh. That's also what made his show Afterlife stand apart. It's like the first one of his shows that really broke away from that format of 2 seasons, Christmas special, that's it. That's as much as we're doing with it. Afterlife is going on for 3, and I think already got renewed for more, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I may be incorrect, but I feel like I read that. But anywho, that said, I'm trying not to get distracted with the pop-up on my iPod. It's like I saw a Twitter notification off, I'm like, don't read it. Read it after. But, anywho. I did enjoy it, though. Dry of British humor, as a lot of it was. Again, Ricky's was more multi-dimensional and upfront, and just resonated more with my personal brand of humor than the rest of everyone else in here. But I did enjoy it. Would I give a number rating to it? Ooh, that's a lot harder. Because it's like, I would give Ricky's performance in it one number, and then I'd give the rest of the show another number. Because, like, the rest of it, I think I would give, like, a 2. But then Ricky's performance in it, I'd give about a 4. So between the two, averaging them out, does that stick us with a 3? Just middle of the row average? I think it may give us a 3. Was it my favorite thing I've ever watched with him in it? Admittedly, no. But it wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it. I mean, it wasn't like Special Correspondence where that one for me, honestly, I felt like that one was kind of a dud. But that's just me. That doesn't mean someone else out there doesn't totally love it. I'm sure somebody does. But for me, that one was just, no, the snore fest. This one just, it's okay. It's alright. It's not the best thing, it's not the worst thing, it's okay. Every actor's got roles like that. It's par for the territory, but I'm mixing up my phrases and I don't even care because you all know what I mean anyhow, so anyway. But yeah, that was my thoughts on watching that. Since it was so short, I kept expecting more out of it, and then that's just as far as it went, and that was it, and it was done. I was like, oh. Okay, I was just finally starting to get a little bit invested in it, and it's over. Alright, I guess that's that then. Well. But yeah, so, wish it were longer. I feel like if it had more episodes, maybe I would have gained more of an attachment to the other characters. Just, there's so few of them, to where it's like, they feel very one-dimensional to me. And again, I don't know if that was an intentional writing device or not. It may have been. But, anywho. That's it for me for this one. I will, like I said, I do plan to watch the US one as well. I just don't know if it's going to be the next thing or not. But regardless, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you like me, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. If you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down. Oh no, I burped. Excuse me. In the description. Wow. Genius, self. Really. In the middle of the sign-off. Couldn't wait like another 30 seconds. Oh god, anyways. I can't even remember if I mentioned the bit about the donation link, although I doubt anybody's going to now after that, but should you feel so inclined, that's down in the description if I didn't already say it. If I did already say it, sorry for saying it twice. I'm gonna go, because apparently I'm getting loopy, so anyway guys, till next time, bye-bye.